In this video, we're going to be unboxing and demoing a BlueDriver OBD2 Scan Tool to find out pretty much anything wrong with your car, so long as it's compatible. But the main focus of this video is how does it compare to some cheap devices like this one here? It's a $5 dongle from China, or something more elaborate like this, whose box says it pretty much does the same thing as the BlueDriver. Is this an elaborate scam? Is it worth the $100? Well, this is what we're going to find out in today's video. I'm not sponsored to make this video. I bought this with my own money. I bought these with my own money. So this is an unbiased opinion. Okay, let's get going. Okay, let's give it an unbox. See what's inside. Fear no fix. So there's probably not going to be a whole bunch in here. There's an app on the phone you can download. So I'm guessing most of the stuff is on there. There's a BlueDriver emblem. I guess you can put that on your car if you really want to. Even the user manual is online as well. So in the box, it's pretty much the dongle itself, and there it is. So $100, not much to it really. But how does it function? Let's get to the car and find out. Okay, so let's plug in our BlueDriver and find out what we can find out about this car right here. Okay, so I'll be using an Android phone. Pretty much the same thing applies to iPhones as well. Go to your app store, download the BlueDriver app. It'll just take a couple seconds and then it'll install onto your phone. So we're going to be using the phone with the BlueDriver app, and I'll include this so you can see a full sort of layout what you would normally see on the phone. So the first thing, you would pair it to the BlueDriver dongle with Bluetooth. You can pair it with the app, and then we're good to go. The first thing I did was update the sensor, the firmware on the sensor. If anything goes wrong, customer support will ask you if you're using the latest firmware, so it's good to do this. So it was only sort of one version behind. There is something to note that when the firmware installs, you do need to restart the app, otherwise you'll get caught in a loop of continuously upgrading the firmware. It's a bit of a bug, I guess. Okay, so this is the BlueDriver app that you can download. As long as you have a BlueDriver dongle, it will work. It won't connect to any other dongle. I'm guessing it's linked to a serial code inside the dongle. That's understandable. Okay, so let's go to vehicle info at the bottom here. This should automatically detect my VIN. This is a 2006 smart car that we're testing it on, and already it says the VIN is invalid. So if I go to edit VIN here, it's actually detected it as a 2002, which is very wrong. It's 2006. When I change it to 2000 thing, it deletes the VIN, which is pretty annoying. For some reason, it detects it as a 2002. I'm not sure why. This is the correct VIN. 100%, it's in the window. It says it's invalid. Without a correct VIN, I cannot use enhanced diagnostics, which means I can't use enhanced features. The difference pretty much between a $5 dongle and something like this is you can read ABS codes if there's something wrong with your ABS system, SRS codes, your safety system, tire pressure monitor codes. I can't read any of this without the VIN. I can't view service reports. There's lots of features you cannot use without a correct VIN. It says it's, but then again, it does say enhanced diagnostics supported. So it is a bit of a mystery. Is this working or is it not working? But it seems to keep resetting to a 2002. I have no idea what's going on here. It's a mystery to me right now. But yes, without that, we can't view service reports, a lot of different features as well. Right now, this car doesn't have a check engine light on. We'll move to that in a second because I'm going to artificially make one appear. Let's look at live data. So if you don't know much about OBD2 scanners, scan tools, diagnostic trouble codes, I'll link a video in the description below. You can check it out. So this is live data. This is everything that's happening on your car right now. Let's go engine RPM and vehicle speed right now. Apparently these are all the supported monitors for my car. So we can see oxygen sensor information, the voltage, air intake temperature, absolute throttle position. So apparently these are all the supported ones. If we go to the all, we can see everything which is available. So this car only has 4 spark plugs in there, 4 cylinders, so we're not going to have a bank too. That makes sense. But there is a lot of things supported here. So there's 2 things going on here. Your car might not have turbo information. It may not have certain sensors. If it does have certain sensors, then BlueDriver has to support those sensors as well. So there's 2 things going on here. There are sensors here which I do have, which are not supported. And there's things I don't have, which are obviously not supported. So this tab here will be all your supported sensors. And these are the active ones. These are the ones I actually checked. So engine RPM and vehicle speed. If I go back, we can see the RPM. It's idling right now, 750 RPM. I'm sitting in the driveway now, so I'm actually going nowhere. So if I rev up the engine, you can see it does a nice little cool graph there. So the visuals look pretty cool. It's quite nice actually. To be honest, that's all in the software. So you're looking at the software side of things. You can actually load this up on different pieces of software with different dongles. But it does actually look pretty cool. I guess I'm showing you the sensor and the software. That's the point, right? If we go to the O2 sensor stuff here and go back. So the O2 sensor will sort of bounce between the low voltage and the high voltage. If you want to learn all about O2 sensors, I have a video on that. I'll link it in the description below. And we can see the short-term fuel trim as well, which is the correction of fuel being injected into the cylinders. So right now it looks pretty good. If I increase the revs here, you'll see it bounce. So you'll see it bounce a lot quicker. So everything on this car works right now, but you can see the sort of layout and everything like that. So let's go to more and go to settings. So there are a few things we can change here. There's a live data mode here. So you can do combined, we can do separate. If you've ever used the Talk app on your phone, it gives you sort of like a similar layout to that. So if we go to live data now, do we have to uncheck those? I'm noticing a lot of these things I have to reset. So I'm not sure why that change didn't save. Select the live data display mode for landscape orientation, separate or combined. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem to take these changes. I'm not really sure why. I have noticed that if I upgrade the sensor to the latest firmware version, I have to restart the app. So sometimes when I make changes, I have to restart the app to make these changes take place. So for landscape orientation, okay, so it's for landscape orientation. So let's go here and go back to live, and then let's flip the phone so it's in landscape. Again, it doesn't seem to work. I don't know what's going on here. To be honest, it doesn't really matter, but it's certainly confusing. Perhaps I just need to restart the app. I don't even know. So screen timeout, pro tips. A few things going on in settings. There's some support here. So that's just some phone numbers and things on how to contact BlueDriver if I have some. Yeah, I don't want to order a sensor. I have one. Do I want to review it? There's a user manual. Shows you how to use the dongle. So the dongle didn't come with any information, but it just pretty much links you to a lot of YouTube videos on how to view all this information. So that's the live data. They're the settings. Now the scan tool itself. So if you look at the top of the app here, there's a little flashlight, which actually makes the flashlight on your phone illuminate. I think that's a really cool feature. For a lot of these, it looks like I'm going to have to induce a check engine light so we can see. So even though the VIN is invalid, it does say my vehicle supports an oil reset feature and a TPMS, the tire pressure monitor system. If I click the oil one, it pretty much says, okay, turn the key to the ignition to accessory, so 1 point. Press the menu buttons to select the mileage on display, which it is. Okay, so So when I turned the car to the accessory position, it kicked out the sensor. I'm not really sure why, so I guess it has to reconnect again. It's just another annoyance, I guess. I guess that's to do with the car, I suppose. It didn't maintain power. So I'm in the accessory position, press the menu buttons, which I've done. Press up and down to select the service menu. Okay. So I have the service menu. Press and hold the trip reset button, turn the ignition off. So I can do this, it seems to work. But the thing is, I can access this information on Google. I don't need a scan tool to tell me how to reset these things. It's cool that BlueDriver bring this in from a sort of a database for your vehicle. It takes the VIN and it can tell you how to do this for your car. But to be honest, you can do these with a simple Google search. So right now I don't have a check engine light on. We'll come back to that. Mode 6. Now this is a little strange here. So OBD2 has 10 modes, from 1 to 10, I guess. Well, it's all in hexadecimal, but this is mode 6. It's just a bit strange that this one's called mode 6. There are other modes here, like read codes, clear codes. These are also OBD2 modes, but they've been translated into English. Whereas mode 6, it just says mode 6. So as a user, you're like, well, what's mode 6? So weirdly, that one has almost like the raw mode that you're looking at. It's just a little confusing if you're not familiar with OBD2 modes. So in mode 6, you can do formatting on and off. So that's just the raw data that comes out of the dongle there. Formatting on just gives you an English description. So in mode 6, these are our sort of supported monitors for our car. So we have oxygen sensors. So we have bank 1. Because I only have 4 cylinders, I only have two oxygen sensors, one before the cat and one after the cat. So the one before is where we look at engine performance and things, and the one after the cat is to monitor your efficiency of the catalytic converter. So these are the ones supported here. So all the O2 sensors and also a catalyst monitor sensor as well. So this car doesn't support too much, at least through the BlueDriver app, and it's just giving you raw values, to be honest. So oxygen sensors bounce from a low voltage to a high voltage, and it's just sort of giving you an average value, which is like half a volt there. So I mean, that's nothing I can't get through a standard sensor. Smog check. So it's in American English. We don't say smog in Europe. So I noticed there's not really a language sort of translation here. Perhaps there's some Spanish or French translations. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it. But certainly the American English hasn't been changed into British English here. So it just says smog check. So is your car ready for a smog check? Is it ready for an emissions test? So we can scan the car. And what this will do is check all the monitors to make sure your car is ready for a smog check. So if you disconnect your battery in your car, then it's going to reset all these monitors. Your car has to go through like a self-drive process to make sure all these monitors are running, they're ready, and you can get your emissions test. And it does support that. Pretty much any dongle supports it, but you can see all the monitors here are complete. Some aren't even applicable. This car doesn't have AC, it's not applicable. So yeah, it's just like an I am readiness test. Some apps will say I am readiness. This one says smog check. Freeze frame data. So if something goes wrong with your car, it takes a snapshot, like, okay, the car triggered a check engine light. It's like having a camera and you click a button. This is everything that is happening with your car when the error occurred. Because I don't have a check engine light, there's no information here, but it does support freeze frame data. So then you can diagnose a potential problem. How fast was I going when the check engine light went off? What was the temperature in the air intake? What was the throttle position? Was it down, up? How far have I traveled since it illuminated? So it's like a diagnostic feature. Most things support that. So saved reports. Now, according to the website, if your car doesn't have a supported VIN. This is where it's very confusing, because my VIN is invalid, but it's saying Enhanced Diagnostics is supported. So for me, this is a huge mystery. What is going on here? So repair reports. Here's a sample report. Because I don't have a check engine light, it's giving me a sample report. Okay, so error code P0420. Most applications will tell you, using a standard $5 OBD2 scanner, that you have a P code. You can easily go to Google, type in this code, it will tell you the problem. So the problem is the catalyst system is below threshold on bank 1. And then you can Google that code, it will tell you a recommended fix. So the top reported fix, you replace your cat converter. If you're in America, you can put like a Fowler on there and cheat the system. Maybe I'll make a video on that. But it gives you the #1 fix. It doesn't give you any cowboy fixes. It doesn't give you any Reddit posts where people can suggest some, cowboy fixes around the problem. It just pulls it from their database, basically. But this is nothing you can't look at on Google. However, potentially it can save you some time. It just doesn't give you all the full features in there. But it's a nice feature to have, but it's nothing you can't get for free. So I think the last thing I'm going to look at here is I'm going to induce a check engine light on this car and look at the code system, and then we're going to compare to a $5 dongle. Okay, so the easiest way to induce a check engine light is just to unplug a sensor and mess with some of the monitoring of the air, or the metered air going in. Let's try this little bugger down here. Alright, that should do it. Okay, so sensor unplugged. It didn't take too long to make something happen here. So now we're going to try and read codes. We can look at all system modules if you have comprehensive support by BlueDriver for your car. So that's just everything supported. I don't have that. The common dash lights, SRS, ABS, so that's the enhanced stuff. And then we have the standard check engine light codes here. So because it's not taking my VIN, I'm not getting anything supported here. So right now we have 4 codes, which is pretty cool. So we have a O2 sensor, bank 1, sensor 1 and 2, so that's pre and post cat. We have a intake air temperature sensor 1, and we have manifold absolute pressure sensor issue. So these are all pending codes because I've just unplugged the sensor. I haven't driven around and giving it, maybe 2 or 3 more starts, and for those codes to sort of become more permanent. But yeah, you can see it works. So any scan tool can do this, right? So let's click in here and see what BlueDriver offers us a bit more. So okay, I guess I got to read to these agreements and accept them. No one's going to read that, right? Oh, lovely. Okay, invalid VIN or VIN for vehicle not sold in North America. It's only available for North American vehicles. So it's funny because this product is available worldwide. You can buy it on Amazon.co.uk. You can buy it on Amazon in France, Spain, all these different countries. So it's a bit odd that the extra money, which is $95 more, you cannot get in any other country other than North America. And even then, your North American vehicle has to have a VIN which is supported by BlueDriver. So right now, all these extra things I'm paying $95 extra for, I can't use. I could easily put these codes, so P0130, into Google and learn more about this problem. I can easily do that. Okay, clear codes. So pending and confirmed. Okay, yeah, let's clear them. So that's going to clear the codes. The codes are going to immediately come back because I have that sensor unplugged. So I'm not really fussed about that, but we can clear the codes. If I try and scan for new codes, I imagine next time I start the engine, yeah, they already came back. So you can read and clear codes. Saved reports. So we have saved scans. So I've done some scans now. It pretty much just remembers what you did. So this isn't really an OBD2 thing. It's more like the history of using their app. And that is pretty much it. That is BlueDriver, and that is the BlueDriver app. To be honest, I'm not very impressed. But let's look at a $5 dongle with a different app and draw some comparisons. Now let's do a bit of a comparison. This is our $5 dongle from China. Let's see what it can do in comparison to the BlueDriver. Okay, so I have the cheap $5 dongle plugged in now, and I'm using Talk, which is an app. There's a free version and a pro version, and I'm pretty sure both of them are going to give us exactly what BlueDriver offered us for this vehicle. So this is the main screen of Talk. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description below. So let's look at fault codes. So tap here to scan for faults. So I plug the sensor back in now, but I still have my check engine light, so it should still pick those up as codes. They might not even be pending codes anymore. They probably moved them to more sort of active codes. Okay, so these are all the codes we saw in BlueDriver. You see they pull up using a $5 dongle just as well. So we have two current faults here, P0110, the powertrain fault, and all the others as well, pretty much the same stuff. We actually have a network fault showing up here, which is quite interesting. I didn't see that in the BlueDriver app. So if you want to click into these, you can press it and it will do a web lookup. So it will go away to a website, and that will tell you exactly what the code is. So you can see if it's a GM vehicle, it could be this, Chrysler, maybe this. And it gives you a few possible causes and a little link below. And it'll go to a different website. It tells you what it means, symptoms, causes, possible solutions. So you see how it's sort of offering you everything BlueDriver offers you. But, perhaps you need internet just to go away and get that. I didn't really test the fact that BlueDriver worked without the internet, to be honest. But it does look like, in terms of scanning codes, there's not much difference there. So this is a Talk really software layout. Now, I guess we can compare the software because BlueDriver comes with its own software. It seems to be linked to the software. You can't use any other dongle with the BlueDriver software, so it only seems fair to look at the software and do a comparison on that as well. So if we scan all the way across, we can see we have a emissions readiness, which is the same as Smog check in the BlueDriver app. You can see it gives you all the monitors there. Some are incomplete. Now these are incomplete because I induced a check engine light, so things have changed, but you can see the features are available. Now in Talk, there are some cool things you can do. You can add a display here. You can add a compass, digital display, a bar display. You can actually customize this whole layout entirely and choose a monitor, whatever you want. And these are all the supported monitors. If it's green, it's supported. If it's black, it's probably not supported. And when I say not supported, this could be an issue with the dongle, or it could be an issue with the car not actually supporting it. So if I go to engine RPM, for example, I want a tiny monitor, I can put it there, and then when I rev the car, you can see it goes up. So you can customize widgets. It's a fantastic app. You can do speed tests, all different monitors here. So yeah, Talk is really cool, and the data display is very nice. So you could say that's kind of like a section of live data. So if we go to graphing, this is more like live data. We can do a scatter chart or a line chart. So if we do a line chart, for example, and then we can again go to our supported monitors here. So we have trip time, trip distance, speed. Well, I'm in the driveway right now. O2 sensor stuff, miles per gallon. So it is a little Americanized. I don't know if you can change the language on that. GPS positions, short-term fuel trim, so fuel correction. So the supported monitors, you can see it's pretty much the same as BlueDriver, if not more. It gives you fuel calculations. Now these can be sort of worked out based on the figures given to you, but it is quite interesting that the software can provide you these options. And if you think you're paying $100 for BlueDriver and the app, whereas Talk free version and Car Scanner, all these free apps can do exactly the same thing as long as you have a $5 dongle, you kind of left wondering, what am I paying $100 for? Especially when my car doesn't support enhanced diagnostic features. So right now I'm doing a line graph of the revs on the car. So I can draw some cool patterns here, look. Let's do one big one. So you can do line graphs, you can plot your fuel trim, your O2 sensor voltage. Again, just like BlueDriver, the BlueDriver app can do, but this is all free. It's absolutely insane. So Talk has lots of features, it supports lots of dongles, it supports lots of different adapters. It seems like it offers you more information. I mean, look at all this information it offers you. When you plug your dongle in, it takes your vehicle manufacturer, it takes your VIN. It doesn't say the VIN's not supported. It supports American cars, international cars, and it clearly gives you all the available sensors. So you can see it supports the Bank 1 sensor 1 and 2, engine RPM, vehicle speed, timing, advanced, all the different sensors it supports, just like BlueDriver can. But there's so many customizations you can do with Talk. But the point is the dongle. The dongle is the point here. The software is subjective. You know, you can use any piece of software. But I do believe the BlueDriver software is very nice and user-friendly. But if you want to really dig into certain features and diagnostic information and support multiple cars and multiple profiles for your cars, then Talk, almost free app, and even if you buy the Pro version at a one-time cost, it's so much better. In terms of dongles, I'm not seeing a huge difference here. So this is one more app here. It's called ScanMaster. It's perfectly free to download, no Pro version required. We can look at trouble codes, we can look at smog check results here, we can look at freeze frame data. Now we have freeze frame data loaded in. We can see everything that was happening with the car when it triggered our P0110 code. Data stream, which is like our live data. There's some things we can do here. We can add parameters. So there's it calls it parameters here. Different apps call it different things. So fuel system status. I guess some might not be supported in a certain version, but it certainly looks like these are supported. And we can play, pause, we can change values. So there is an element of live data. We have graphs here as well. So you know, it's really cool. There's a lot of amazing things you can do with here. So you can see this one has mode 6 as well, but there's almost like an English translation, monitored test results. Remember in BlueDriver it just said mode 6. It looks like it's displaying more raw information here. So it just gives you a bit of information, and it does say mode 5 as well under here. So this is mode 5 of the 10 OBD2 modes. So no oxygen sensor available in this app, but again it's really down to the software. So let's do a quick summary of BlueDriver and the dongle. Okay, so let's clear our fault codes. I've plugged the sensor back in now, so I'm going to clear the codes. Normally, if you fix a problem with your car, you don't want to clear them. You want to let it naturally clear, and then, you know, the problem's gone away. So I've just cleared the codes now. The command has been sent. We're using our $5 dongle. We're using our free version of Talk. We're getting pretty much the same result as BlueDriver, our $100 dongle. And now you can see our check engine light has gone. Okay, let's wrap up. Okay, so that was a summary of BlueDriver with its supporting app that it comes with and it only seems to work with, and a simple $5 dongle from China. Now you can see, depending on the software used, you pretty much get the exact same feature set from both of these dongles. However, the only difference is this one supports some enhanced diagnostic information as long as your VIN is supported. And when I say supported, I say it must be North American and it must be supported. I think this could be potentially worth it if you have problems with your ABS or some specialist system of your car, which is not normally supported by the OBD2 standard. So if the only thing you want to do is check engine lights, clear codes, do some graphing and diagnostic information, you can get a $5 dongle. You can do everything you need to do. If you have a problem with your ABS, anything to do with specialist manufacturer specific information, and it's supported by BlueDriver, you can double check on their website to make sure your VIN is supported before buying, then potentially it's a good purchase. But there are certain tools that also do this for a similar price range as well, so it is something to bear in mind. If you like the video, like and subscribe. If you've had this product before or this one and you have some experience, then leave a comment below. I'd love to hear other people's opinions on this. But certainly for my car, I do not think this tool is worth it. I think it's overpriced. I think it's a very bad tool. It just seems like a lot of the feature sets like service reports, error faulting, you can access through Google for free, especially when using apps like Talk that give you this as long as you have Wi-Fi or an internet connection anyway. So I personally don't see the point, but your mileage may vary. It is popular for a reason, but I'm thinking that reason is just marketing and less about the feature set. It is user friendly. It is targeted at people with limited information about cars. So those people do not really know that these things are available. They just think this is more expensive, therefore it's better. But let me know what you think. That is a review, a fair review, an honest review of BlueDriver. I paid for this with my own money and I think I might be returning it. Okay, so stay tuned for more videos coming soon. I hope you liked it and take care, guys.